Okay, how's it going? I recently watched a movie called Cure. I think in Japanese it's Cure, something like that. Anyway, Cure. It's a movie from 1997, a Japanese movie. It's, I guess, meant to be like a psychological thriller, horror, drama. I didn't like it that much. I have mixed feelings. It reminds me a little bit of The Orphanage, another horror movie, El Orfanato, a Spanish sort of horror movie I saw, which is more of a drama. They're both, like, not in a lot of ways, but they're both a little slow, and I think aspects of it interesting, but mainly because they were confusing. And I had to look up things about Cure afterwards that actually made it a bit more interesting. But I still don't like it that much. I think I'd give it maybe a 5 out of 10. It's a movie where I find the idea more interesting than the movie itself. I was a bit tired for part of it, but I still enjoy movies even when I'm tired. I don't think that's that relevant. But yeah, I was trying to follow it. So part of what I don't like is that I found it too slow. I think too much of it was, there's a subtle thing. I don't mind a movie I don't think it's about being slow. I like suspense. The example I gave, I think maybe ages ago, I thought of, is like the movie Halloween has suspense. There's suspense because you have violence near the start. A lot of good action movies will have an action scene right at the start to kick things off. And good horror movies will have something scary near the start. Good movies start with something to give you some idea of what's going on. And in a horror movie, you need some kind of threat. Halloween's good because there's suspense. You feel like something bad's going to happen. The same with quite a few other movies. I don't know, The Thing. I don't know about Alien's a bit different. But with this movie, I guess there are some weird things near the start that get you interested, but too much of it feels like I'm just confused and I'm like, what is this scene? It's just, like, to me, it's just a shot. The other thing is, some people have said the cinematography is really good. I don't like it. It's about as good as my cinematography right now. It's just a camera still, and half the time there's not even anyone there. It's just that, this is the shot, and there's someone walking past, doing stuff, and they're coming back. You can't call that good cinematography. I think that's what it feels like. It reminded me a bit of Audition, another Japanese movie that's messed up. I didn't really like that. It's something that I think maybe I'll rewatch at some point, possibly soon, since I'm watching a lot of horror movies. It's been a long time, and I like the idea of giving movies a second chance to try to think, did I miss something? Maybe there's a key, and maybe I just need to grow up, and because that's part of watching movies. I want to watch new things and learn. But that movie, I just also remember just feeling long and drawn out and not entertaining, not mysterious, and like, ooh, it's like just shots that are still of just like a house and nothing happening. And I'm like, cut this short. Have something, have some tension, have something I'm wondering about. There's other parts that are pretty good, like, I may as well go in, like, okay, to give us a rough idea of the plot, to see if this might be interesting. There's these killings occurring. I don't think this spoils it. This will help you understand it, because I think it's a movie that could use a little bit more exposition just to clear things up, because I find it's easy to get confused. There were parts where a character would be somewhere and be like, wait, how did they get here? How did they know to go to this place? How did they get this address? Or what are they doing here? And it wasn't clear to me. So basically these killings are occurring, and they do this like an X, which cuts both the carotid arteries. I don't know if that's how you say it. I had to look it up, but I guess there's these two. I don't know about other people, but just looking at, like, that's the thing. I think for me, I was interested in the idea of being like a doctor and learning how to, because I like helping people, healing. But as soon as scalpel and you're like cutting someone and you've got all these, I feel like you always see surgeons, it'll always be like it feels like they just use like string. They'll just like tie it up, sticky tape. It just feels like it's so like messy and casual. They'll just be like pushing, moving things out of the way. I'm like, geez, that's like the internal organs. Isn't that stuff important? Should you be a little bit more careful? And you just got a blade in your hand and you're like, be careful. Anyway, so I was looking up veins and arteries, and it's just scary how many things you've got all over it. It's just like every time you twist your arm, all these veins and things. I'm like, what if one of them gets blocked? Or, it's like, how do they just stay there? What if one of them gets damaged? It's scary. It's terrifying. Anyway, so that's what the killers are doing. And then but the killer will be near the body and will have no memory. Or apparently they're saying, I can't remember. They admit to the crime, basically. And it keeps happening. And then the police try to investigate, and then they end up finding this other person that seems somehow connected, who also has like a memory problem, can't remember. But it's like, it's an interesting concept, but it's a little bit dull, because it's just half the scenes are like, I don't remember. Who are you? And it's like, it's like, I get it, they don't remember it, it's not entertaining, and it's like, I want to know more about the mystery, and it takes too long to get there, I think. The movie, yeah, too much of it, I think, could be cut down, or let us get to the mystery quicker, let the characters actually get really angry, grab them and say, what do you mean you don't remember? And, and then, and also part of me just sort of thinks, put him in jail, and then let it be done. And then, but then that's where you then need to move on. You need to establish that quickly and not spend lots of time on, who are you? What are you doing? And like, it's like, why are you wasting your energy? And why is this the movie? Let them go to jail, and then because the movie implies some other weird things happening, but then you need to let that happen. Like, get to that part. That's more interesting. I may as well be more specific, so I'll spoil it now if you haven't seen it. It seems that this guy, anyway, we learned that he was a psychology student, and he was interested in hypnotism. There was this video of someone, they seemed to do sort of an X. It'd be help if I could see it, because I couldn't see them doing an X. I couldn't see it properly, but apparently, and that sort of stuff is kind of cool and creepy when you're watching like an old video, VHS. I feel like it's a bit of a cliche. There's always some kind of, even like with Blade Runner, be a part where he's looking at an image and he's like, stop, enhance, like zoom, okay, go left 3, go down, zoom, enhance, and like just trying to, it's kind of exciting, I think, in The Sixth Sense, he's listening back to recordings and he turns up the volume and he's hearing these voices, and I think just people like that kind of thing. I think also because that's often where, it's funny, that's where sightings of UFOs occur and stuff. It's always grainy footage, and it's often explained by little artifacts, little things that are, just quirks of electrical equipment, little weird things that can happen, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I think everyone has a curiosity about that, about some analog form of data, or I guess, yeah, like say a VHS, the grainy quality, and it's old, and it's like there's clues here that, oh my god, wait, pause, go back and look there, and it's like, oh my god, and it's like, I think people like that. I'm just getting shivers now just thinking about that kind of thing. But yeah, I kind of like the idea that this young guy has learned hypnosis, and he's able to sort of implant ideas that people commit crimes. But he's kind of just weird. Like, he just says, I don't know, I don't remember. And it's like, he's not an interesting villain, and it's also not clear. Does he actually not remember? There's a part where he's got like a chair, he's like smashing it. I have no idea what that was about. I feel like there's definitely one or two parts where I kind of missed what was going on. I can't remember like what the point was, or what was. I kind of just, the movie just fell into a bit of a trance for me. It was just I was just watching images because I couldn't follow it properly. I feel like there could have been more emotion involved, like less. The problem was it made it, if everyone felt kind of drowsy and like, I don't know, I don't care. It's like, I'd be much more interested if you had someone who said, yeah, I killed them, I don't know why. And then they break down into tears because they're like, what's going on? And then the cops are like, this is messed up. And it should have maybe taken longer before we find the person. And maybe we get little hints, and then we track down, there's 3 suspects, and then we investigate, and one of them was a psychology student. We interviewed them, they say, they don't say, it wasn't me, I don't know what you're talking about. And then it turns out one of the police then does something weird, and they're like, what the hell, that would be super creepy. And then they notice that the guy has, like, I just think the concept could be done so well. It's something I'd be interested in, like, remaking, but taking the idea of this master, basically hypnotist, that is able to make people commit crimes, and for whatever reason there's this weird fetish of like an X on the neck, and even all kinds of people do it, that he makes do it, and then we eventually get clues, and then we might find some kind of motivation. Maybe there was some kind of weird connection between the people and why he had certain people killed, or maybe there's not. Maybe he has a long-term plan. there's all kinds of directions you could take it in, and just I would like it if I like movies where there's hints earlier on, like maybe this the person who's the mastermind behind it might be a character we know from the start that isn't that significant, that we don't suspect, but it turns out they often, there might be scenes where they have a certain thing, and it's like that's what they use to help the hypnosis. So that like another one of the main characters figures out, wait a minute, and it goes back and finds these hints. I don't know. There's so much potential for the idea, but this movie is kind of dull. I didn't like it that much. I think it's a bit slow, a bit pretentious. Reminded me a bit of Stalker. I absolutely hated that movie. It's a Tarkovsky movie. I think I've seen Solaris. It was okay, but I didn't really watch it properly. I mean, I tried to, but I don't think I had proper subtitles for the whole movie, so I didn't know exactly what was going on. And again, I stress, I don't mind slow movies potentially, but they've got to engage it. There's got to be a theme or a threat that you know about, that you've got to understand what the characters are feeling and why. Not just feel like, where is this going? Like, okay, another person killed, alright, fine. And they're just kind of like, I don't remember. I don't know, because that's the other thing, they're very lethargic. It's not, that doesn't make for, great popcorn movie. Like, they don't know. They're asking, who are you? Oh my god, what's, it's like, and another scene with another character, I don't know, and then they just pick something up, and it's like, oh, okay, you like the letter X? Okay, like, let us get somewhere with it. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there. This is like a 5 out of 10 movie for me. Concept, I think you could make an excellent movie. Parts of it, if you edited it down, I might be like, it was an interesting, spooky kind of movie. Add a little bit of extra oomph, like a bit of, not like violence is the be all and end all, but just something a bit shocking at a certain point, and a bit of a twist, and a bit more meaning, and a bit more of a gradual figuring it out, and I don't know, something, and it could be excellent. But as it is, or it could be a lot better. But yeah, it's kind of dull, it's kind of pretentious, I think. 5 out of 10, QR Japanese movie. Okay, bye.